Hello and welcome to What the If, where I tell you some of the best what ifs on YouTube. If you're new, please subscribe to keep the channel growing, but if you're already subscribed, I wanted to take the time to say thank you so much, because I finally became a YouTube partner and have become monetized thanks to having 1,000 subs. So really, everyone who's watched and helped me get here so far, thank you, and I hope I can keep making content you want to watch. But other than that, I won't waste too much more time, and I'm just going to start this video about Kurapika taking on the Phantom Troupe. This is part 6 of the full story, so if you want to start from the beginning, feel free to go to my channel and check the playlist for this what if story, or any of my others. But with the intro out of the way, let's get the video started. The Phantom Troupe gathers their gear as Krollo reminds them of their mission. Now, the time has come for me to meet the man selling the Dark Sanata. I'm sorry to say most of my preparation for this has had to be thrown out due to the chain user's involvement. Now, I'll just have to take the sheet music by force. So, I'm counting on you all to stay as close as possible, just in case we're interrupted, while I handle the talking, of course. This should be an easy job for us, but with the luck we had lately, I'm preparing for the worst. Krollo gives his family one final look before stepping out into the chaotic city streets, and right behind him, the remaining Phantom Troupe members follow as a single effective unit. And with Krollo off to make his deal, Hisoka sends the signal to Kurapika, who has already been vaguely filled in by Hisoka that the Phantom Troupe are meeting up with someone and tonight is going to be a good night to try another attack. Kurapika readies himself for what he feels is almost certainly going to be an important battle in this war against the spider. He also checks his phone since he still hasn't heard from Killua and is beginning to worry. So he leaves a final message telling Killua an even shorter explanation of the situation that Hisoka told him and his phone's location before rushing out into the cold night. He walks slowly, waiting for Hisoka to reach the spider's final location so he can hopefully get the drop on the enemy. But as the two groups head for a clash, a second unknown figure waits for the meeting between Krollo and a suspicious seller. And with Krollo walking inside a fancy hotel and the spider fully hidden, Hisoka tells Kurapika it's time to begin. Krollo makes his way through an elevator and straight to a room with the front door unlocked. Krollo sees a blonde man with a smile even he finds a bit unnerving. The man quickly stands from his desk and greets his potential customer. Hello, it's great to finally meet you." The man extends his hand, saying, "Well, before we get down to business, my name is Parston Hill. Now, what do I call you, sir?" Krollo is so thrown off by the man, he almost reveals his name. But he snaps himself back into focus and readies himself to assassinate the helpless man before him. But as he makes his move, the door behind him opens and Krollo stops. A small deformed woman walks into the room, forcing Krollo to take a moment and carefully decide his next move. As Melody walks in, she seems shocked seeing Krollo, which confuses him since he's rarely recognized or noticed in this way. But Melody quickly hides her true feelings and tells Parston, "I'll let you know now, I'm willing to pay whatever you're asking." This perks up Parston's ears, but also intrigues him as he notices the tension between his two potential customers. Parston replies, "Well, that's great, but let's hear out our friend here, who I don't think has introduced himself yet." Krollo tells Parston to knock off the questions and name his price, because he's got places to be. Parston laughs. Of course, well, this is a very special and dangerous artifact found on the Dark Continent. So of course it can't be cheap. I'll start the bidding at, let's say, $5 million. Melody quickly agrees as her and Parston turn to Krollo and wait for his answer. Krollo laughs, saying, "Well, it seems I didn't bring any money with me," before summoning his nin ability, Bandit Secrets. And as soon as Parston seems in trouble, two bodyguards burst into the room. But Krollo instantly uses a stolen ability that acts somewhat like a flashbang, momentarily blinding and stunning the opponents, as Krollo grabs a set of papers and a briefcase off Parston's desk before rushing out of the room. With the spiders seeing the signal, they burst in to help Krollo. Finks and Phaeton effortlessly take on the bodyguards as Nobunaga stops more hunters from trying to help Parston. Maki plans on trapping Parston and Melody with her strings, but both are gone, chasing after Krollo. The remaining members of the troupe debate about whether they should follow Chrollo or stall for his escape. But when Hisoka drops onto the battlefield, the choice is made. Finks tells Kaluto to find Chrollo, while the rest stay back and finally take care of Hisoka. Nobunaga's the first to attack, with a lightning-fast sword swipe that is stopped by Hisoka's sticky bungee gum. But as he holds Nobunaga, Phaeton sneaks behind him and lands a hard punch that stops Hisoka in place, surprised at the strength of the much smaller man. But with no time to waste, Phaeton continues his attack, kicking Hisoka hard enough to send him flying towards Finks. But Hisoka planned ahead and is yanked back by his bungee gum rope, thankfully saving him and wasting a potentially fully charged punch from Finks. Hisoka jumps back to safety, where he begins throwing razor-sharp playing cards down at his enemies. Most of the Phantom Troupe backs up, fearing one of Hisoka's tricks, but Nobunaga rushes forward, with his mind set on revenge, slicing the cards out of the air as he leaps towards Hisoka, and unleashes a barrage of attacks that Hisoka barely manages to evade. Nobunaga tells Hisoka, "It's time for you to pay for your sins. You may be able to stop one of us, but together we'll cut through you with ease." Hisoka laughs, saying, "Yeah, that's true, but the team's only as good as its weakest link, and you've let your anger separate you from the team." Hisoka lunges towards Nobunaga, connecting a strong hit and bungee gum on his opponent, to everyone's surprise, especially Nobunaga himself, who thinks, "What? How is he so fast?" Nobunaga thinks harder before realizing, "No, I was just slower than before." He then checks his body and sees a single card stuck to his leg. Must be some kind of poison. No matter, he thinks, as he rips the card out of his body. Phaeton then helps Nobunaga up as he reminds him to stick close and fight as a team. Yeah, I will, don't worry. Let's just finish this quick," he says. But as the troupe close in on Hisoka, another fighter enters the battle as a chain slams the ground between the two sides and Kurapika finally joins Hisoka. Hisoka laughs, saying, "About time you got here. I was beginning to think you were just gonna leave me to die." But Kurapika just tells Hisoka to focus on the troupe as they get ready for the 4-on-2 fight. But little do they know, a second fight is already happening in the streets around the hotel as well. Chrollo has taken the Dark Sanata and safely tucked it inside his bag as he easily fights off several guards of Preston. But with Preston nowhere in sight, he finds himself face to face with Melody, who tries appealing to Chrollo's human side, saying, "I know you're the leader of the Phantom Troupe, but please, for the sake of your fellow humans, that song needs to be destroyed. Just look at me, and you can see what horror that music can cause just by hearing it, let alone playing it." Chrollo, with little time for games, replies, "I'll give you one chance to answer honestly. How do you know who I am? And if you tell the truth, I'll give you the Dark Sanata, Scout's honor." Melody is hesitant, but with little choice, she tells Chrollo the truth. "I know a man named Kurapika who holds a grudge against you, and he's told and shown me enough so that I can recognize you. But that's it, I swear. I have no ill will towards you. I just want to stop anyone from being hurt the way I was." Chrollo thinks for a moment, but all Melody hears him say is, "Kurapika, the chain user." This changes things. Chrollo opens his book, Bandit Secrets, as he explains, "Sorry, but if you're friends with Kurapika, I can't let you live. I've got plans for this song, so I won't let it be destroyed." Chrollo jumps towards Melody and uses a stolen enhancer ability to power himself up. But Melody is surprisingly fast and able to use her flute as a weapon, emitting her nin through the music, causing major confusion and pain in Chrollo's head, causing him to stumble and fall to the ground. Melody tells him, "I'm not much of a fighter, so I focused on an inability that keeps fights from happening. Now, just give me the sheet music and I'll leave town forever." But Chrollo dismisses her, saying, "Do you really think this is enough to stop me?" As he stands to his feet, he pulls out his knife. Chrollo fights through the confusion and again heads towards Melody, who adds more notes to her nin song, causing an overwhelming sense of calm and peace to fall over Chrollo, stopping him momentarily. Melody uses this chance to strike, saying, "Sorry, but I'll have to knock you out. Don't worry, you'll be healed and well rested after you wake up. But before she can attack Krollo, he blocks the attack and sends her flying with a stiff kick. Melody is shocked that Krollo was able to fight back from the calming effect of her nin, but Krollo egotistically explains before she can even ask, saying, "You seem to have a wide range of songs with various effects. This must be some calming spell to put me at peace so I can't violently act. But, sadly for you, I am at peace when fighting. I don't need to lash out with violence to fight. I can fight with nothing but pure joy." Melody realizes how outclassed she is by this monster as he again rushes her down with his superior speed and skill. But she doesn't move. Melody stands her ground as Krollo grabs her in an almost hug and stabs her in the back. Krollo smiles as he says, "Don't worry, I'll be sure to tell your friend Kurapika about our little date here." But Melody seems to be ignoring Krollo to his surprise, and he finally lets her go as she drops to the floor. Krollo sighs. He then turns around to see Kaluto finally made it down the stairs to him. But as Krollo walks towards Kaluto, he notices his bag is opened. And as he turns back, he sees Melody with a match in her hand, holding up the burning sheet music of the Dark Sanata. Krollo rushes over, but it's too late. The Dark Sanata is destroyed. And Melody smiles as she looks to Krollo, telling him, "Make sure to tell Kurapika I finally destroyed the Dark Sanata. I'm sure he'll be proud of me," before she quietly passes away. Krollo is clearly angry, but all he can do is laugh as he stands over Melody, saying, "Don't worry, you'll be seeing him soon. I may not have the Dark Sanata, but I have something just as good. Someone who knows how to play it." Krollo uses bandit secrets and explains to Kaluto, "I added a new ability to my book. Any Phantom Troupe member who dies who has an ability that meets my conditions automatically appear in the book, and I can use them as long as I haven't replaced their number yet in the troupe." This allows Krollo to use Shaunark's manipulator phone and antenna to reanimate Melody, and potentially control her. He then tells Kaluto, with her nin ability already using her music skill, it's a perfect match to use with the Dark Sanata. And since she's already dead, I should be able to just keep reviving her and using it as much as I please. Krollo smirks overconfidently at his own plan. As he tells Kaluto, it's time to head back and check on the rest of the troupe. But Kaluto points behind Krollo, saying, "What? My brother's on his way." As Killua uses his Godspeed to blitz down the city streets towards Kurapika's location, desperate to help his brother and his friend. That's it for today. Sorry for the long wait on the video. Hopefully there won't be too much more of that anymore. But thanks again for watching. Please help the channel keep growing by liking, commenting, and subscribing. And have a great day until I talk to you all next time.